Local 10 an arrest after police say a man was robbed of his Rolexes and jewelry by women he met at Walgreens.
And now one of the suspects is in custody. Local 10 news reporter Rosh Lowe is live. He's in Hallandale Beach with the update on this exclusive story. Rosh, they caught one of them, huh?
Oh, they did. She turned herself in. This story got a bunch of attention since we did it last week. You may remember this story. Really strange. This guy is inside Walgreens and he meets three women, gives them his phone number. They come over at 3 a.m. and cops say they stole a whole bunch of stuff. Let's get right into the latest development and we'll bring you the mugshot of one of those women. She has been identified as Juliana Cortez. Now,
Juliana Cortez. How you doing? I'm just going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say that usually in mugshots, you look horrible. I don't care if you're Halle Berry in her prime or just name any supermodel. Like, you just don't look good in mugshots. Although that one guy, what's his name? The dude that went viral for his mugshot. Was it Jeremy Meeks? I'm pretty sure that was his name, Jeremy Meeks. He actually had a mugshot where all the women went crazy because of his mugshot, and he ended up getting a millionaire wife. He went from being in prison, broke, committing crimes, to being a millionaire on paper because he got married by a rich woman that took him in, and he's doing well for himself now. All just because he did the wrong thing and went to jail. So sometimes doing the wrong thing pays off, you know, in certain situations. Now, I don't know if you're going to be highly sought after by the opposite sex based off of this mugshot, but there's probably some guy out there that's going to be like, I love you. Actually, there was a guy, the guy that you robbed for a whole bunch of jewelry and stuff. Undirected team, we got another show. I'm excited about this one. As you can see, it's about women scheming and scamming. So we're starting off with this story. We got this woman right here. She's gonna start out and be the lead actress of the show. And because these stories are happening in Florida, I decided to dress appropriate for the scenery. And I got my, Florida kind of swimsuit shirt, pool outdoors, great weather on the beach. So we're dressed for the occasion. Let's see what we got. And let's get more in depth to this story and see what's really going on and how this guy got finessed for over $200,000 and how she ended up in jail.
Let's get back to the story. According to Hallandale Beach Police, this guy was in the checkout line and these three women come up to him. They start talking. He gives them their phone number.
Three women.
They come over and according to police, they steal more than $200,000 worth of jewelry and a Rolex. And that's why for this suspect who was in Broward Bond Court this morning, Juliana Tammy Cortez, she's facing some serious charges: grand theft, first degree, obtaining property over $50,000 by fraud, another charge. Now, part of the reason why police want to keep the story out there is there are two women that are still on the run who they say have arrest warrants out for them.
Hold on, wait.
Antonetta
Shirelli
and Lexi
Shirelli? Buffalo.
To police,
These are the women right here. Shirelli and Buffalo. So we got Cortez, Shirelli, and Buffalo. I can't tell which one Cortez is based off of this picture. Is Cortez the one with the ponytail? Her mugshot looks way different. Or is that her in the middle? Which one is Cortez? I'm confused now. Who is who? They're not related. They all got different last names. They look kind of similar. I mean, not exactly, but wow. All right, I'm confused now. Let's just keep going.
These women went by different names at the time: Layla, Nikki, Rose. But Juliana Cortez, police say, decided yesterday, knowing there's an arrest warrant out for her, she turned herself in. But now police today, with a clear message to the two women who are still out there.
So hold on. So what we know right now, with the information we got so far, is that this was premeditated. They must have been scanning this guy for a while. I don't know if he got out of a luxury vehicle, if they just seen him in Walgreens initially, Seen he had jewelry on, Rolex, because they gave him fake names to begin with. So this was all premeditated. Like, we're gonna give him fake names. Buffalo, you approach him, lean on him, let him smell your perfume. You know, maybe you got some Chanel on, or Rihanna. What is Rihanna? Rihanna got her own perfume. I forgot what it's called. But you're going to lean on him. You're going to get close to him, get him aroused, get him into it, get his number. We'll give him fake names, and then we'll meet up with him later and try to rob him.
Let's take a listen. We just spoke with them.
If you can, you should turn yourself in. Either way, we are going to make sure that you're apprehended and that justice is served.
Captain, I'm going to need you to be a little more firm and assertive when you're addressing criminals. As a criminal, you just don't scare me, Cap. I'm going to be honest. As a criminal, I'm not worried about you hunting me down. And you're asking. You're saying I should turn myself in when I'm ready to do it. Now listen to Captain one more time. She might be new.
You should turn yourself in. Either way, we are going to make sure that you're apprehended and that justice is served.
Captain, you're not convincing. If I'm the criminal looking at this, I'm not worried.
Okay, so we have two women still out there. We have
two
one
still on the
woman
loose
in custody who turned herself
Buffalo,
in
and I forgot the
Broward
other girl's
Bond
name.
Court this morning. We'll bring you much more for this.
Okay, so the one girl turns herself in. All right, so we got that. So one girl turns herself in, Cortez. And we got an update to this, actually. So this is the original video. We'll actually go on and see what else is going on as far as what happened with the other two women. And then we'll talk about this a little bit more and actually address the guy and see how he even ended up in this situation to begin with, because I'm disappointed in him too. Like, he's the victim, but he's also suspect based off his actions. I have no idea what the hell's wrong with this guy. So we're going to do a look into him too. But for now, let's finish up the rest of the story and see what else we have.
Of jewelry and a Rolex. Last week, Hollandale Beach Police put out this.
All right, we got the footage right here. So I'm assuming that's Cortez. If I'm wrong, let me know. So that's our victim right there. And he's wearing a Rolex right now. So he's got a Rolex, looks like his right wrist. And she approaches him, it looks like. He's just trying to check out. Looks like he's got some, what's he got in his cart? Is that a 2-liter of Coke? Looks like Diet Coke. Looks like a 2-liter Diet Coke. I might be wrong. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. What's in his cart? I'm interested. So she approaches him. He pulls out his phone. It looks like they're exchanging numbers. All right.
This video. And yes, we're inside of a Walgreens. We can see the women who went by the names, according to police, of Layla Rose.
What kind of chips are those? Were they buying Takis? And why are they getting plushies? They're just doing some random shopping right now. I have no idea why they're buying what they're buying. That's just as interesting as everything else. So we got two of the women in the shot. Is the other one waiting in the car? Getaway driver?
Rose and Nikki. The guy in the pink shirt, and we blurred his face, strikes up a
What's up with these guys wearing pink shirts always being victims? We just had the guy that got caught in Turks and Caicos and they released him to his family and he ran into his kids' arms crying like a baby. He was crying more than the kids. The kids were like, yo, like, can we finally go to Disney World now that you're back? Like, you just went to Turks and Caicos and had a great time. We still want to go to Disney World, Dad. Like, that's what the kids ran up to him for. He ran back because he was just happy to be back on American soil.
Conversation with one of the women, and then he gives them his phone number.
Oh, okay. So that was his phone. So she hands her his phone. He puts the phone number in. He's thinking that he just scored. Bruh, you got a Rolex on your wrist. Just look how this man looks. And I'm not taking shots, and he's probably a very successful man. Actually, we're going to look and see where he
he blurred his face, strikes up a conversation with one of the women, and then he gives them his phone number. The women go and check out. At 3 a.m.
I mean, you could just, but he don't, listen. He looks like he's carrying. He looks like he's about 6 months pregnant. It doesn't even look like he got a Rolex on, though. Just looks like a rubber band on his wrist. I thought he had a Rolex on. Maybe I'm confused about this story. Hold on.
With one of the women, and then he gives them his phone number.
I don't think that's a Rolex on his wrist.
Women go and check out. At 3 a.m., cops say he gets a phone call and the women want to come over. Boy, was that a mistake. We're talking about more than $200,000, according to police, of jewelry and a Rolex gone. And
okay, yeah, so he did. I don't think he was wearing the Rolex, though. He must have a nice car. Because as far as you can tell, like, there's really nothing that says he's definitely not a hot, like, Chad Tyrone type guy, right? Like, as far as his looks, he's not attracting women. Since they already had fake names, I'm assuming he's got a nice vehicle. And that's where they got him first. Because I was thinking he had a Rolex on his wrist, and that's why she approached him in the store. But I think they already knew who he was when he walked in there. And they're like, we're gonna get his ass.
How did these women get away with all this stuff? Cops say they distracted him. So on Sunday, Juliana Cortez turned herself in. So you have one in custody and two are still out there.
Yes, that's correct. There are current active probable cause affidavits and warrants for the other two outstanding individuals, and we have one that's in custody that turned herself in.
And here's just some of the items taken.
She sounded much more confident there. All right, you're getting your swag right. You're getting your swag right, Captain.
Gold chains, bracelets, the Rolexes we mentioned, and there's more. Cops believe the trio was hit before, but cops still looking for two women, Antonetta Ceccarelli and Lexi Buffalo. And they have a message for the women who are out there.
If you can, you should turn yourself in. Either way, we are going to make sure that you're apprehended and that...
No, she went back to not being assertive. Okay, so that's what we got so far. And we're actually going to go to this one. This is the update. We'll just go straight into this. We'll go straight into the update.
Women accused of stealing over $200,000 worth of jewelry have now turned themselves in.
They got the other two.
Say a trio of women approached the victim at a...
Hold on. Let's see what we got. We got Acosta. We got Cortez, and we got Buffalo. 98, 2001, 96. So it looks like the youngest is the ringleader. Well, no, she was the one that turned herself in first. So maybe the oldest is the ringleader, the one that sets everything up. And Cortez was like, yo, I'm not built for this. And she turned herself in. And it looks like the other two did the same.
At Hallandale Beach earlier this month where they exchanged numbers. The women allegedly went over to the man's home.
David Jonathan Harris. That's our guy. David Jonathan Harris. Location of... Hold on. Location of rest. Oh, let me look something up real quick. Hold on real quick. I need to do some research real quick. Hold on real quick, team. Hold on real quick, team. I want to see what's going on real quick. I'm just looking something up real quick. I wanna see what that address pulls up. Okay, we got Zillow right here. Should we go Redfin? Let's go Zillow. Let's check out Zillow. All right. We're going Zillow. We're going Zillow. That's the address they had on the police report. This is house? Is this where he brought the women to? Let's check it out. Wow. He's right on the water. I'm not surprised he got $200,000 in jewelry. He definitely drove a really nice vehicle. if you're living there, if you got 200,000 in jewelry, you probably got a car that's worth at least 300,000-400,000. The house, what was it? It said $1 million, right? $1 million for the house. I think it was 3.1 million. Wow. Pool. I mean, you're right on the water. Miami. Wow, look at that open floor plan. That's beautiful. Looks like it was just renovated and updated. Oh yeah, it says right there, off market, $3.1 million, 6-bedroom, 4.5, past 4,500 square feet, which is huge. Average bathroom. Wow. All right. I have a whole bunch more pictures, but we're not gonna look at that. The rent, if he didn't buy that and he's renting, he's paying $20,000 a month just to rent there if he didn't buy it. Wow. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go back. That's what it says. It says right there. Palm Drive, 631 Palm Drive. That ain't their crib. The women do not. That's not the women's crib, is it? No, that's where that's got to be where the crime happened. I'm not doxing him at all either. The news put this out. I didn't go find it. It's right there. And it's got everything else right here. Everything that they took. Gold chain with diamonds, bracelet with diamonds, gold chain with charm, Rolex watch, something bracelet, and a ring. It looks like the ring is worth, does that say $100,000? This is crazy.
And police say they later left with cash and jewelry, including a Rolex watch, a gold chain, and some diamond rings. Lexi Buffalo and Antoinetta Seccarelli surrendered to police last night, while 23-year-old Juliana Cortez was arrested earlier this week. The trio faced several charges, including grand theft and fraud.
All right. Well, this is kind of like one of those things where, you look at it and let me get off this real quick. This is one of those things where you look at it and you're just like, guy, what are you doing? And the reason why is this. If you see women at Walgreens and they're buying food there and they're not on vacation, you should probably be a bit concerned. They're in there buying Takis and plushie toys. That's just that in itself is questionable. But 3 younger women, I mean, you invite them to your house at 3 a.m.? This guy's not innocent in this. That's all I'm saying. Like, there was 2 things that happened there. 2 things happened here. Either he set it up as far as just a pay for play. So it's kind of like an escort situation where it's just upfront, like, look, y'all 3 come over here, I'll pay you, get services from you, and then that's it. Or he was actually gullible enough to believe that these women were interested in him more than just his money. So I'm extremely, extremely confused and disappointed in his actions. Let me see if we got anything else on this conversation. Said trio took 3. Yeah. We'll talk about this a little bit more in the undirected perspective. We're gonna move on to the second part of the story. We're at the 20-minute mark now, so we'll move into the second part of. Oh, you know what? I actually got a bonus for this one. I got a bonus for this one. little bit unrelated, but it'll segue kind of okay. This guy right here ends up getting robbed and trailed home for his Rolex. Let's check this one out real quick. We'll run through this one real fast. Where'd my sound go? I don't got my sound, y'all. Hold on.
Returned to his apartment building here in North Miami, near the area of about Northeast 151st Street and Biscayne Boulevard, but he believes that some thieves followed him home.
Out of my truck, the water, I'll put them down here like this.
Just as Antonio Adili was unloading groceries from his truck, he was ambushed by an armed man.
He walked this way. And I'm thinking he owned this car, he went to leave, and he took a gun, he put on my head. He said, give me your money.
The suspect seen here on surveillance video wearing a hoodie and a face mask snatched more than $3,000 from Antonio's pocket, and this pricey Rolex from his wrist, he says, was valued at around $50,000.
He put the hand here.
Team, why? His awareness sliders are on 0. You're just walking around with a $50,000 Rolex on, $3,000 in your pocket. Listen, I guess if it's all hundreds, it's not really visible. I'm thinking like 20s or something. It'd be like a big knot. If you got 3,000 in just $100 bills, it's like very thin. It's not thick at all. Never mind. You might not be able to see just a big bulge coming out of his pocket of cash, but you still got a $50,000 Rolex on. And like, where do you live at to where a criminal can just trail you into your apartment? Why do you have a $50,000 Rolex and you're not somewhere where the community is gated? In Miami.
Here, but then he saw the watch. Said, take him off. And he put the gun on my chest. I give it to him.
The thief initially runs off, but then turns around to come back for a second time. That's when a quick-thinking Antonio yells out,
John!
He records on his cell phone as he pretends to signal a friend who really isn't there. But it's enough to scare away the gunman.
He came back for
The
seconds.
thief hops into a waiting car and speeds out of that same residential parking garage. Another angle catches the white Kia Forte and its temporary tag racing away.
It's happened like this, believe me.
Antonio believes that car with 2 crooks inside followed him home. A misfortune, he says, others can learn from.
Be careful and look around. Carry gun now. I have a gun. I carry now. And let's be careful.
So yeah, listen, guys, women, whoever. In this case, we're looking at the women. They're out here finessing men. And if you're wearing a Rolex on your wrist, you need to have a heightened sense of security because they're very expensive. Rolexes hold their value. And if you're going to have one, you need to be a little bit more aware of what the hell's going on around you. You cannot be walking around like a goofball, but you got a $50,000 watch on your wrist. It's unacceptable behavior. And I'm just like, why are we moving in such a loosey-goosey type of fashion, you know, when we know that people will kill for much less? Like, come on, man. But anyways, let's get into the other part of the story, and we'll wrap all this up in undirected perspective at the end. But for now, we're going to look at the second part of this show where we see a woman that's behind bars right now because she was scamming. We had the schemers first. Now we got the scammer. And this is her right here. Let's see what she did.
ABC6 reporter Ari Otter is live from Miami with more on this alleged scheme. And Ari,
welcome to Miami in the Zeno, Miami.
Yeah, Juwan, think of it like money laundering for stolen cars, car laundering. Doral police say they've busted up a car theft ring which had stolen at least 18 luxury vehicles. And with fake VIN numbers, they just put VIN numbers that are counterfeit onto the cars. And with phony titles, they could then resell those vehicles. And
So this scheme is not new, just so y'all know. This has been going on for a long time. In the hood, these are called strikers. Steal a car, you swap out the VIN number on the car, the plates, the VIN number plates where you got VIN numbers all throughout the car. You got the tag that's usually on the door jamb or it's in the door. You know, that's just like a sticker. And then you got it in you got it in the dash, like right, you can look through the windshield and see the VIN number there. And then there's one usually in the glove box, in the trunk. And then it's actually, the VIN number is actually in other places. Sometimes it's even on the chassis of the vehicle. The VIN number will be etched there. But the criminals aren't going to go as far as to change that. Usually they just need to change the one, what most normal people look at, or you can call them normies or NPCs, just non-playable character type people that, oh, let me just make sure everything matches up. They're going to grab the title and they're going to look at the VIN number that's either in the door, or they're going to look at the VIN number that is under the windshield. That matches up, they're good. But there are plenty other places you can look for the VIN number that criminals probably wouldn't change if they're not elaborate enough. And I don't think this group, although they do have a sophisticated ring going on, are not that elaborate. And we're going to figure out the reason why, because we're going to see how they ended up getting caught. I did preview this, so I do know how the criminals got caught, and I'll let y'all catch up and see what happened.
2 of those cars are sitting here at the Doral Police Department out back.
We were able to target, we were able to infiltrate, and we were able to dismantle this criminal enterprise.
And you're looking at 2 of the 18 stolen cars. Altogether, including the Lambo and the others, they're worth more than $3 million.
These individuals were targeting expensive vehicles, and they had made a connection with this person that we arrested yesterday at the tag agency, so it was a perfect storm.
She's falsifying the documents for these stolen vehicles.
Catherine Moran is charged with 18 counts of official misconduct and 18 counts of title fraud. According to Doral Police, she enabled the car laundering enterprise to function. She allegedly rubber-stamped counterfeit documents for the cars, which were stolen all over South Florida.
A car could have been stolen in Broward County, brought to this chop shop in Doral. These individuals would re-VIN the vehicle, create fictitious paperwork, present it.
Yeah, see, that's the VIN right there that most people look at. So that's easy to swap out. I mean, it's not very difficult. But if you really want to get in depth, and if you're buying a vehicle that's worth that type of money, like a Mercedes G-Wagon, I'm not in the market for one, but let's just see how much they cost usually. Let's see. I'm just going to, whatever. Price of a Mercedes G-Wagon.
According to Edmunds, the least expensive 2024 Mercedes-Benz G-Class is the 2024 Mercedes-Benz G-Class G554 Dr. SUV 4WD. Including destination charge, it arrives with a manufacturer's suggested retail price of about $143,000. Other versions include G554 Dr. SUV 4WD, which starts at $143,000.
$150,000. That's, I think, was that the base level? You can get, like, if you want to go like AMG, where, you know, you got like all the perks and all the features, you know, custom paint, like, you know, you got the extra paint job, you got the moonroof, premium wheels, all that type of stuff, 4G connectivity, LTE, just like you got everything. So, you know, it can be upwards of $200,000. Now, I'll say this about the victims in this case, because I always have to look at the victims in a lot of these cases because they're just as implicit. The people that are selling these vehicles are going to give them a deal that they can't pass up. So if this vehicle costs $150 off the lot, like that's what all the dealerships are selling them for. If you get it at auction, maybe you get a little bit cheaper. But then you got some random guy on Facebook Marketplace that's selling it for $90,000. Like, if it's too good to be true, it is. And I'll tell you about the victims. Now, they did catch these people, so they're going to go after them to try to get the money back and reimburse the victims that bought these vehicles. But I'll just tell you this. If you buy a vehicle that has a stolen VIN or that's stolen and you buy it, they'll take the car back and they do not reimburse you. Like, you lose everything. So be careful when you're buying these vehicles, team. And I don't think y'all would make a dumb decision like this and be that thirsty. But I just want you to know, if you get caught with one of these vehicles, you don't get your money back. So you spent $90,000 on it. The police come knocking at your door. Hey, we need to check out your Mercedes G-Wagon you just bought. And you're like, well, I got the title. I got all the info. I went to the DMV and transferred it. Well, you bought a stolen vehicle. The VIN number was changed. We're going to need to repossess your vehicle. All right, cool. Can I get back my 80? No, you can't. And that's that. You're out of your money. So be careful when you're buying these vehicles. Always check the VIN number. Always match everything up. I can actually show y'all where, you know, if you ask, if anybody's ever wondering, contact me, leave a comment in the comments below and ask me. I'll tell you all the places where you can find a VIN number on a vehicle, although you can probably just Google it yourself. But if you want to just hear it from me specifically, I have no problem telling you, because I don't want you to lose like $60,000, team, trying to do something that you shouldn't. Actually, I know a lot about vehicles, so you could actually just ask me before you buy a vehicle. I'll give you some insight on, you know, how to handle it.
To Miss Moran in the tag agency in the city of Miami, Miss Moran would issue them false paperwork, register the vehicle used in the Florida databases, collect $800 to $1,000 per vehicle that was.
They're selling vehicles where they're getting anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000 for the vehicle, and you're doing all the work as far as. Like, this, she's the most instrumental piece in all of this. The reason why is because they can't sell the vehicle without a title. Now, people are dumb, but they're not that dumb. Nobody's gonna buy a vehicle without a title for that type of money. So if you buy it, you're gonna make sure that the title's good. And most people are gonna say, "I'll buy it from you, but let's go to the DMV and, you know, make sure everything goes through." So I buy and sell vehicles. I go through auctions. I buy and sell vehicles. And whenever I sell a vehicle, it's an absolute must that we go to the DMV and whoever I'm selling the vehicle to transfers the title into their name at the DMV in my presence. I will not sell a vehicle and just let you sign your name on the title and leave with said vehicle. Although a lot of people actually prefer to do it that way, which I just find it's just not smart for either side. And I want y'all to know this too, team. And, you know, I'm always trying to, you know, give a little bit of education. You call it like education, entertainment, mix it into one. If you buy a vehicle, and this from both sides, if you buy a vehicle and you don't transfer the title when you buy the vehicle, and let's say you're driving and the title is, you just have the title and the vehicle's not in your name. Let's say it gets towed for any reason. You can't get your vehicle out of the tow yard without the original title, especially if it's a city, like if it gets towed to, like, well, you know, Minneapolis, the city of Minneapolis tow yard. You can't just go in there like, I got the title, I signed it. No, you have to register it and legally put it in your name at the DMV. Or else they're going to say you need to get the person that sold you the car to come get it out. So never buy a vehicle without transferring the title. On the other side, as a buyer or as a seller, if you buy the vehicle, if you sell the vehicle and a person gets into any altercation or any type of issues with that vehicle, they get a ticket, they park by a hydrant, they crash it, leave a stolen firearm in it, ditch the vehicle, flipped upside down in a ditch, they're not coming for the person that bought the vehicle. They're coming for you. And even if you have all the documents showing that you sold it to this person, it's not going to help you in the moment. Now, as you go through court and the whole process, you might be able to find refuge there. But initially, they're coming after you for everything. I know this from experience because it happened to me. I won't go into the whole story because that'll take too long. But lastly, I want to say this woman only getting $1,000 and they're selling $80,000 vehicles. And I mean, how desperate can you get? Jesus.
Presented to her through Cash App, Zelle, or other means. And that's how this thing kept happening over and over.
The criminals ain't smart either. You're Cash Apping and Zelling this woman the money? What is wrong with y'all? Why would you leave a paper trail like that? Just give her cash. At minimum, give her cash.
Over happened 18 times.
Moran allegedly pocketed about $20,000, and the car owners aren't the only victims.
The reason why sometimes insurance prices are so high and these premiums are so elevated is because of these types of crimes. So it's something that we take extremely serious.
Those kind of crimes affect all of us. Police say this started with one stolen car report. The owner had installed a GPS locator device in his car. It was pinging back to a warehouse in Doral. Police got a search warrant. It turned out... There was a chop shop inside that warehouse. They found 3 stolen cars there, and since then...
How you got a chop shop and you can't find the GPS locator in the vehicle? You don't know what LoJack is? LoJack been around. When did See, now we going to do... When was LoJack first used? 1886. No, 1886. 1986. The first LoJack system was installed in a car in 1986. By the early 1990s, LoJack had expanded to several states in the U.S. It's basically what a GPS is. It's just a LoJack. But, you know, that's like the original one, which everybody kind of knows, but now it's plenty of companies. You can go on Amazon right now and put a GPS tracker on your vehicle. You can attach them to the ODB port of your vehicle, which is one of the things I use to track my son when he's driving as a brand new driver, just got his license recently. And when he drives, he's monitored by GPS. It detects everything as far as how fast he's going, his location at all times, constantly updates me where he's at as far as where the car is at. And but if you got an operation and you're dealing with vehicles that are worth north of $100,000 on average, you're not going to check for a GPS in a vehicle before you bring it back to the spot? You brought a GPS. That's like stealing somebody's iPhone. Leaving a SIM card in there, leaving the iPhone on, and then going directly to your raggedy ass apartment and setting the iPhone on desk and trying to find a way to sell it. You know how fast the owner of iPhone is going to be at your apartment or the authorities? Either one. Like, what are you doing? Before you... I'm not trying to give criminal... Because the criminals might actually watch this video and try to start up a new ring and then make sure that they use my advice. But not checking for GPS is crazy. I thought they were sophisticated, but they're just fools. They're fools. And they got this woman caught. The criminals got her caught. She didn't... Like, she's the one in jail right now. She's the one being posted. She's the one right here with her mugshot everywhere. Where's her mugshot at? We had her right here. Where's she at? She's the one with her mugshot plastered all over news pages on my channel. But she actually didn't do anything to get herself caught. It was the actual chop shop that brought a GPS on a vehicle to the chop shop, got caught, and then they traced everything back to her. And now here she is as the ringleader. I mean, crime doesn't pay, y'all. It paid for a while after they sold $3 million worth of vehicles, and they probably paid on average to do everything that they needed for each vehicle, probably $10,000 to $20,000 for the whole process, if that. Probably much less. Then they scammed her. She's the most intricate part of it, and she's gonna end up doing football numbers for all of this, possibly. And she got less than a percentage of what they made in profits. This is insane. You know what? I'm done with it all. I'm done with it all, team. Everything that's going on at this point, no, I don't want to go back there. I want to go here. Actually, did I have anything else? Let me just make sure I ain't got nothing else. I think that was it. Did I have anything else? I'm just looking. Officers executed, discovered 3 stolen vehicles, including a 2022. I'm reading from the news article right now. I can bring y'all to it. Real quick. This is where I'm at right here. These are the cars that they got caught in the chop shop with at the time. So they were getting ready to sell a 2022 Lamborghini Urus, a 2023 Aston Martin DBS Super Leggera. I think I pronounced that right. And a 2021 Mercedes-Benz G550. So they had another, I'm just going to assume, I'm going to put all those cars probably around $125,000 mark. So they had another $350,000 to $400,000 worth of vehicles ready to go. The Lamborghini Urus probably, now I got to know. I know a lot about vehicles, but not high-end vehicles like that. I'm not like shopping for those. Price of a 2022 Lamborghini Urus.
According to Car and Driver, the price of the 2022 Lamborghini Urus starts at $229,495 and goes up to $249,300.
I'm way off. Lamborghini Urus is a 2022 Lamborghini Urus is around $250,000, $200,000 to $250,000. So they had way more than that. They had possibly the Aston Martin. I know is gonna cost a lot. The Mercedes-Benz G550 is probably gonna be the least expensive out of all of them, and that's still gonna cost you north of $100,000. So yeah, they got probably like $600,000 worth of vehicles right there. They had a good operation going. But crime doesn't pay. So now they'll pay with their freedom. And was it all worth it? I don't know. That's something you got to ask them. We're going to wrap this up, y'all. Let's get an undirected perspective. What do I got for all this? You know, we look at what's going on as far as the dynamics of male and female. And we really gotten to this point where it's become so transactional between male and female to the point where it's not safe to meet women at a Walgreens. Like, it used to be a cute thing to meet a woman at a grocery store. It's like, where'd you meet your husband at? I met him at the grocery store. You know, I was just shopping it for ingredients for dinner, picking up mashed potato or picking up potatoes to make mashed potatoes and jasmine rice and gravy packets. And I was getting ready for the end of the week when I was going to make tacos and fajitas. And Italian night was going to be on Sunday. And she's just in there shopping for ingredients. And she's getting fresh vegetables and stuff. But now this guy is trying to get women that are picking up Takis and plushies at Walgreens at night. And he thinks he's going to find love with these women that are obvious predators. Obvious. He subsequently gets robbed for over $200,000. I'm assuming he's not going to get back his jewelry. Maybe, possibly, but I'm pretty sure that those women fenced the jewelry. You know they know some ninjas that was willing to buy it at a cheap price, so they probably sold all the jewelry for like $20,000, even though it's worth $200, and his estimates are probably way overvalued, to be honest. Like, that did not like $200,000 worth of jewelry, like not even close. But it doesn't matter. That's what the police are saying that it's worth, and you're gonna get charged accordingly. But then you say, all right, well, let's try dating apps. It's safe there. I'm not gonna get into it now because that's not what this show's about. But go on dating apps and people are getting set up there to the point where you're not even talking to women. It's men making fake dating profiles that look like a hot woman. And it was just a story, and I'm not going to get into it. I would like to pull it up, but it was a story where a guy was talking to a fake woman, gullible. He decides to meet this woman that's really a man behind the computer screen at a motel. And subsequently, when he knocks on the motel door from behind, they hit him over the head and robbed him. 2 men. I think it was 3 men. And they took his stuff, used his credit cards, bought a whole bunch of stuff, took whatever cash he had on him, took his vehicle. It's not safe, man. It's not safe, y'all. But, you know, there's still hope for dating in one way or another. And, you know, we can probably discuss that at a different time. I'll just say this. Be very skeptical of who you meet initially. And if you want to run around and you want to flex and floss, then you're just asking for predators to try to come and rob you. All right? So it's fine. I'm not telling you don't have $200,000 worth of jewelry and don't, you know, ride around in your Lamborghini Urus. But I'm just going to tell you, if a woman approaches you and her first meeting with you is seeing you in a Lamborghini Urus or seeing you with a $100,000 Rolex on your wrist, you're going to have to question her intentions, all right? And I'm just being honest with you. You got to stop being so gullible, guys. And, you know, it could have went worse for that guy. It truly could have. They could have killed him. Like, let's just be honest. They could have took his life. So, you know, let's be careful as far as what's going on when we're out and about, and do not invite random people over to your beachfront mini mansion at 3 a.m. and think that you're winning. The scammers with the strikers, I mean, that's self-explanatory. Like, you just need to just not commit those crimes. But my thing is more towards the people that are trying to buy these vehicles. Y'all are just as implicit. I'm really like starting to think that not only are the scammers just as bad as the people that get scammed, but that everybody's all in this together. It's just that some people are too afraid to do the crime, but they still want to benefit from the crime. So you may be too afraid to steal the car and then swap the VIN number out yourself, but you know something is fishy when somebody's selling you anything at a heavily discounted rate like that, and you still decide to buy it. And that's the other reason why you really can't tell with a lot of people if what they have is legitimate. So you see a person in $100,000 vehicle, but he really got it for $10,000 because it's a striker. So it's like, it's just a lot of smoke and mirrors, and it's a lot of fraud, scamming, and scheming going on. So men, protect yourself. Women, stop committing crimes, and attach yourself to someone that's gonna help put you in a good position in life. And, you know, it's a very, very shady climate. Everybody was eating, like in 2020, when people were getting all these PPP loans and all that type of stuff, but that money has ran out. Inflation has kicked in and people are desperate out here. So for the small percentage of people that are still doing well in this economy, you might want to be careful and protect your neck because you could be next. And with that, I'm out of here. Until the next one, Dotsell out. Peace. Wow. It's crazy, y'all.